Hello and welcome to the WrestleTalk News. I'm Ollie Davis. I've just gotten back home from my weekly CrossFit session where I try and be like Seth Rollins. I mean, think about Seth Rollins. And I stumbled across this article that had just gone live about 25 minutes prior. See, I'm not at the studio, I'm at home. It's WWE.com confirming Daniel Bryan has been medically cleared to return to in-ring action. This is the same Daniel Bryan, of course, SmackDown Live commissioner, who retired from professional wrestling in February 2016. It was reported at the time he was kind of forced into it because of all the concussion controversy surrounding wrestling and the larger football world. And yeah, this is just going to be a guy reading out a WWE.com article to you. Following more than 2 years of extensive evaluations, if only this was an exclusive, 4-time world champion Daniel Bryan has been medically cleared to return to in-ring competition by leading neurosurgeons, neurologists, and concussions experts, including Dr. Robert Cantu, Dr. Javier Cardenas, and Dr. Jeffrey Kutcher. Now, the important thing about those 3 types of profession, I suppose, that's the neurosurgeon, the neurologists, and the concussions experts, is that Daniel Bryan's condition, as Bray Wyatt or as Matt Hardy would say, isn't an exact science. People are still learning about concussions and the impact on stuff on the brain. It's not like Paige's neck, which is a relatively black or white situation. She's got neck problems. That's relatively very well understood. She shouldn't wrestle again in the eyes of the WWE doctors. But stuff for brain injuries, it's very much still a grey area in terms of what is long lasting. Is CTE actually having effects, or is it just something a lot of people have from knocks to the head? So that's why those professions and those names are in there. But the guy who really matters, because you can have every leading expert in the world clear Daniel Bryan. The guy that really matters is the head of WWE's sort of medical division. That's WWE's medical director, Dr. Joseph Maroon. He's the guy throughout the last 2 years who has been back and forth with Bryan over whether he can wrestle and make an in-ring return again. And the next paragraph says, Bryan underwent a full review of his medical history and received comprehensive neurological and physical evaluations independent of WWE, meaning these were tests done outside of WWE. He was cleared by each doctor as well as WWE's medical director, Dr. Joseph Maroon. That's the important one. So, wow, it's happened. Daniel Bryan is going to be returning to this is hugely exciting. If I hadn't just done a 30-minute EMOM, that's another CrossFit thing, it stands for every minute on the minute, and is some degree of torture, where you just do the same movement every minute for half an hour. I would be more excited. I am very excited, but my sugar levels are low right now. This is enormously exciting. Daniel Bryan, I mean, what does this mean for SmackDown tonight? Shane McMahon's been taken off TV. Was this a recent thing? At the weekend, the Wrestling Observer reported that Bryan had made, quote, strong moves, quote, to get cleared in recent times. There was a report from WrestleVotes that they said 2 weeks ago, WWE presented Bryan with a match scenario at WrestleMania, but Bryan, according to WrestleVotes, said he didn't want to do it because the match, I guess, would involve standing on the apron most of the time, being very protected, kind of like when Bret Hart faced Vince McMahon and he hardly did anything for the entire match. That seemed to be not something Bryan was interested in. He wants to make a proper return to the ring. So we're going to see this on SmackDown tonight. Of course, would this have been a better moment if it was done on TV rather than a WWE.com article? I think so. I think it's a great way to promote the show, but, I think you have robbed us of a particularly fantastic swerve when Bryan, if this was to unfold on an episode of SmackDown, my oh my, how spectacular would that be? But you've got to think this is going to lead to a WrestleMania match. If you're being cleared 3 weeks before WrestleMania, that likely, that signals towards something at the grandest stage of them all. So can't believe I just used that WWE verbiage. The biggest party of the summer. It's more WrestleMania than ever. So I suppose that means he's gonna, there's a few scenarios that could be. One of the safest would be tagging with Shane McMahon. Oh God, is that safe? Wrestling with Shane McMahon? But something involving Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and that storyline there. And one of the long rumours for a long time, this was way back when, was for them to build to a Daniel Bryan versus Shane McMahon match at SummerSlam. So maybe this has got even more legs. Of course, what does this mean for Bullet Club's All-In show in September? Daniel Bryan was considered to be one of the aces up the Bullet Club's sleeve, but if he has been cleared to wrestle in WWE, I don't think he'll be leaving WWE when his contract expires in September. Wow. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed my abode. I hope it doesn't look too naff in the background. I'm going to faint because of a combination of this news and the fact that my shoulders can't move at the moment because of the aforementioned CrossFit. Did I mention I do CrossFit? I love you, Seth Rollins. I've been Ollie Davis, and that was, wow, probably the biggest story of the year.